welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing one of my favorite videos to film, which is an everything I made recently video. I love doing the everything I made this year videos, but I also like splitting them up a little bit, so I'm gonna do one every quarter. So this is gonna be January through March. That way I can go a little bit more in depth on some of these pieces, and then I'll just recap everything at the end of the year. I did some videos like this last year, so I'll link a playlist down below with all of those videos. So let's get started. I'll just do month by month, so let's start in January. First thing that I made in January are these little arm warmers. I used this leftover golden yarn from, I made this tank top last year, if you remember it. I actually still have it. I just love this color and I love this yarn so much, and this is the first project that I actually did any cable detailing in. I wanted to start with something small. These actually are supposed to be for my friend Shay, and I was gonna give them last time she visited like a few weeks ago, and then I forgot that I had them, so I think I'm just gonna ship them to her, even though it's not really like arm warmer season anymore. I love these so much. I actually knit these in a panel. It's just some ribbing and then stock net with, I think it's like a 6-stitch cable, and then some more ribbing on top. So, but these were very easy to make. Also just a good project to practice any cabling. Okay, this next one is a little humbling. It's a singular sock because I'm not very far on the second one, but I did finish one of them, so I guess I can include this. People say that the hardest part of making socks is finishing the second one, and that's where I'm at right now. It just hasn't really been on my priority list, but I want to finish it because I want to wear these socks. I do wish I made the ribbing a little bit longer, and I definitely had enough yarn to do so. Like this yarn, I think it's an Ella Rose yarn. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it just has a little bit of this confetti color detail that I really like on especially a dark gray or just any gray in general. And then I did like a 3x1 rib for this cuff part. I'll also link the sock pattern that I use down below because it's pretty much the only sock pattern that I use. It's a toe-up construction. I haven't really tried any other ones, so I don't know if that's the easiest way, but it's how I learned. So I've just been doing it like that for the base and then kind of just customizing whatever I want for the cuff part. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. The next thing that I made in January, I actually finished this up in January. I started it back during Thanksgiving and it just took me a while to finish. But it's this sweater. It's very vibrant on camera, which is cool. The story behind this yarn is that I found a pack of Noro yarn. I think it was 10 skeins of Noro yarn for $15, and that's how this came to be. I really wanted to do this fold over v-neck detail, and I didn't really know how to go about it. It was honestly kind of difficult to shape it. It didn't turn out the best or anything. I just did some short rows so it wasn't so floppy in the back, but I still wanted this part to be pretty thick. And then it's like a balloon sleeve, so I've never done like a V neckline or anything, so I am really happy with how it turned out, and this yarn is just gorgeous. It is kind of awful to work with because it's a very is it boucle? Yeah, just really not easy to work with because of how variegated the size of the yarn was. I especially like the sweater because I actually made a matching pair of shorts to go with it because I had so much of the yarn. I decided to make a little pair of shorts to go with it. I have a tutorial for these shorts pretty much on my channel. I'll link that down below as well. And then I also did that elastic trick where you put, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I put shirring elastic in the waistband so it kind of cinches up a little bit. And I absolutely love that trick because then you don't have to worry as much about this fitting, because over time, honestly, knitwear will stretch, and having the elastic is kind of just a good safeguard to make sure that it stays fitting, and you can always add more elastic later. So yeah, I just love this little set, and I still have a few skeins of that yarn. So maybe I'll make a skirt or something too, and then I'll have another thing to wear with a sweater. One of my best yarn purchases ever because Noro yarn can get a little pricey. If you know, you know. I made this colorful collar out of scrap yarn. I just kind of pulled a bunch of stuff from my stash, especially stuff that just didn't really have that much yarn left. And I made this collar, and it's just fun. It's a good pop of color for any outfit because, like, even right now I'm wearing a black t-shirt and it just adds a nice little touch. So you can really wear this with anything too, and it's fun to be very experimental. I also added a twisted single crochet stitch on the edge, and I feel like it just gave it a lot more structure. So if you're making a collar like this, then definitely try out that stitch. This was also a free pattern that I will link down below for you guys. Then I tested out my sewing skills, which I'm still trying to improve. I just need to be practicing consistently. Honestly, when I don't sew for a while, I make a ton of mistakes. This is a little vest that I made, and I made it really long so it's almost like a dress and I could wear it layered over different things. And I also added this silk tie in the front, and I just really like this fabric. It's kind of textured in a way. This is also the first time that I used any interfacing, and next time I'm gonna be using the iron-on interfacing because this stuff was not an iron-on interfacing and it was just very tricky to work with for some reason because I had to stitch everything together instead of just ironing it on. So next time I make something like this, I'll make my life a little bit easier and get iron-on interfacing. She's cute, kind of can be maybe a punk rock vibe. I don't know. Then I made this bolero, which I'm obsessed with because it has this really pretty cable detail. So this is when I started practicing cables on a bigger project, and I just really like this yarn. And I swear this yarn matches my eyes, which is kind of cool. And another really funny story about this yarn is that I was trying to buy some yarn for a commission and it was a good deal, and I bought it on eBay and it was advertised as a completely different color. I was trying to get like a dark chocolate gray color and they sent me 4 skeins of this green color. It was fine because I probably was gonna use it anyways and it was a good deal, but I just thought it was funny because just be aware of eBay sellers. Sometimes they post the wrong thing. If you have to ask questions, do not be afraid to do that. With that being said though, I've never really had any other issues ordering stuff on eBay, particularly yarn. I order on eBay a lot if I can find a good deal, and I used a German twisted cast on for this neckline, which is now pretty much the only cast on that I use for any necklines. Okay, so that was everything from January, and now we're moving on to February. Starting with this cardigan. Spoiler, I think this is my favorite thing that I've ever made. I think I wear it more than anything else that I've made. It's just perfect. I've only ever made one other cardigan, and I don't really wear cardigans that often, but for some reason I just love this cardigan, and it's a raglan style cardigan, which I've never done before, but it's pretty much the same thing as the other raglans that I make. I just had a little cutout in the middle, and then I added a button band, but I didn't put any buttons. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling that look, so. But my favorite part of this sweater is this cable detail. So I did 2 opposite leaning cables in the middle of the sleeve. It just adds a fun little detail. This yarn I actually thrifted too. It's a bulky Patons, just normal fleece yarn. I just love her so much. And it's funny because I didn't plan this sweater out too much. It just kind of happened as it went along, and since the yarn was so thick, it only took me a couple days to knit. So as you can see so far, I've been trying to work on bigger projects recently instead of just doing a bunch of small ones. I just find them very rewarding in a lot of ways. And then the next thing I don't have with me, but it's just this white floral bikini. I made this bikini for my soon-to-be sister-in-law. She picked out the fabric and I made it and sent it to her. I actually have a lot of swim fabric right now, which is making me very excited for summer. Next is this drop stitch tee, and I wanted to try out this fold over neckline. So this is the first time that I ever did it, and it ended up a little bit crooked, as you can see. So I don't really know how to feel about this. I might just try to sell it as a sample or give it to a friend, but it's a really pretty color. I haven't decided what to do with this one yet. It just honestly fits me a little bit weird, but it might fit someone else a lot better. And then for this, I just did random drop stitch rows. I wish I did a bigger drop stitch row in the middle here because there's this huge block of just stockinette, but then I have some shameless ends on this project that I haven't weaved in yet. But you'll see why, because there's so many colors and I just couldn't be bothered to do it after knitting it. But I'm gonna do it this week because I'm gonna bring this to a market, and I obviously need to weave in the ends and block it. It's just this little vest, and to get this wavy effect, I did random German short rows. It was a little bit hard to keep even because you need to stack like so it's even as you go up. This was more of an experiment, something more fun and abstract, but I think once I block it and weave in the ends, it's not gonna have as many bumps and it'll look a lot neater. This is what the other side looks like. So yeah, this is gonna come to a market with me so I can try to sell it. I wanna try to do another project like this, maybe a bigger scale, like a sweater. It started getting really dark and I didn't know why, but I forgot that there was gonna be an eclipse today. So I had to take a little break and I made a little eclipse viewer because I didn't have the glasses. Now we're into March. So the first thing that I finished in March, which I honestly finished like halfway through the month, but it was this striped baby tee, and I love this. I still can't decide if I want to keep it or not. It has, again, that fold over neckline, but I also did it for all the cuff details and then the bottom as well. And I just love these colors together. I honestly didn't buy this yarn planning to mix it together, but I just really love how the colors turn out together. I don't know, should I keep it or should I sell it? It did take me a long time to knit because It's pretty small yarn, like it was a DK weight yarn. Honestly, love any baby tee like this for spring because it's still a little bit warm but not too warm, you know? And then next I made this crochet garter belt, which is just kind of silly and fun. Obviously these don't attach to anything, but I could add some hardware, so you could attach it to some stockings or whatever, but I kind of just wanted it for fun, and you can layer it over skirts and stuff and just have like that extra mohair detail. I also hand sewed these little bows on. And then I made this skirt, and this fabric has been so stubborn, I can't get it to iron down. I think I just need to crank the heat up. It just wrinkles so fast. It's just this little pleated skirt that I made. I love this color. I love green. I think it's my favorite color, especially my favorite color to wear. I was testing out a new kind of pleat. I kind of wanted thicker pleats. It didn't turn out perfect, but definitely it's still wearable for me. I feel like I wear things no matter what. I think I wear things a lot of the time that maybe they don't fit perfect or they're not the most perfect thing. But then I have this baby tee, which I love this color combo. It's so fun. It's so bright, but not in a bright color like neon yellow or neon pink, but it's just like a very bright color combination, very eye-catching. And I really like how the stripes turn out and everything. And again, I did that fold over cuff detail for all the edges, and I just feel like it makes it look so clean. And I kind of found a better way to do it than the first time I did it, how it was like kind of diagonal. I found a way where you could match up where you should be connecting it so it stays like nice and straight. Maybe I'll do like a short tutorial on the shorts page of my channel on that if you guys want to see that, or on TikTok. I don't know. I just love her. This one's a little bit more narrow than this, like this one. Okay, the final item is this crochet top. I finished this like a few days ago and I love this. It's so fun. Again, I don't really wear pink, but I love making pink things for other people. I just kind of whipped this one up last week when I was sick. I didn't really have a plan for it, but I wanted to try out a crochet raglan, which I've never done before, and I kind of just like estimated it. It wasn't perfect, but honestly, since it's such a loose gauge, I actually did this with the triple crochet stitch. So since it's so loose, there's not really room to see mistakes, but I kind of just increased like I normally would with knitting at like 4 different points. But I really like the way this turned out, and I want to make a lot more things like this. And a lot of people see spring summer as more of like a crochet season, and then fall winter as knitting season, or I guess maybe just me. But now that it's spring and we're going to be going into summer, I've just been wanting to crochet more, and I feel like that's very natural for me. Like I definitely just gravitate towards crocheting in the summer, and I just think these crochet tees would look really good in the summer over like a swimsuit or just like a summer dress. I'm pretty sure this is a wool yarn. I think I'm going to be looking for a cotton yarn that I can make a bunch of these shirts for, like markets and stuff. I'm thinking probably like the Hobie Friends cotton, because I love that yarn so much. It's such a good soft cotton yarn. And while I'm talking about it, if you guys have any good recommendations for cotton yarns, I'm always looking for a good cotton yarn because they can just vary a lot on quality and like how it feels. So yeah, if you have any recommendations on that, let me know. And honestly, if I had enough yarn, I could probably whip out a cute little dress in this style. That is all that I made January through March this year. And I just like looking at all the things that I've made recently, maybe techniques that I've learned and how I've progressed in those, especially for like cables and then also that like fold over neckline. I feel like I've been doing a lot of stuff like that and experimenting with new things, which is fun. Also, these like reoccurring type of videos are fun. So I'll be doing one of these every quarter. So the next one will be April, May, June, and then so on. Let me know of any other like reoccurring videos you want. Like I would love to do a monthly favorites or maybe like a quarterly favorites, but I don't really know what to call that. And favorites as in not just like knitting and crocheting stuff. I mean like beauty, TV shows, books, stuff like that. And I don't know, let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you guys. Other than that, make sure you subscribe so we can hang out again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. Follow me on Instagram at minigru.studios. I normally post everything that I make, so if you want to keep up with things that I make as I go, then make sure you follow me there. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.